So I just want to draw your attention to something that might render all the coronavirus restrictions in the UK invalid. A couple of weeks ago, a former Supreme Court judge called Jonathan Sumption gave a talk to the Cambridge Faculty of Law called Government by Decree, which is essentially tyranny, in which he said that the government is acting unlawfully. He drew attention to the fact that they'd passed the Coronavirus Act, which was unnecessary in his opinion because there was already an act in existence called the Civil Contingencies Bill. But he reckoned that they'd passed this Coronavirus Act because the Civil Contingencies Bill required that Parliament debate the continuance of the application of these rules every 28 days. It required more oversight. It required the government to justify the prolonging of the lockdown every 28 days. So they opted to pass the Coronavirus Act. But in doing so, they never put in the Coronavirus Act the powers to lock us down. What they invoke in the Coronavirus Act is the Public Health Act, Control of Diseases, from 1984. Now, in that act, if you want to lock first of all, it doesn't apply to healthy people. If you want to lock someone in or restrict their movement or restrict a premises, it has to be done by the order of a magistrate. And it has to be a named person. So unless you're named by the order of a magistrate, and the magistrate has to have some kind of evidence or suggestion that you're in some way infected and a danger to people, then you do not have to stay at home. Your premises do not have to be closed unless they're named in an order of a magistrate. So I think by showing us this law, Jonathan Sumption is giving the public at large in the UK the information it requires to not comply. Someone of his standing and his position may not be able to, or may not even want to tell people to ignore the police and to not comply. But he can give you something legal and lawful, some information that enables you or empowers you to throw out bad laws. Now, there is a precedent for this. Now, because obviously you look at this guy on YouTube or on the Facebook or on the internet, wherever you see this video, you'll see this and think, well, what does he know? But I am relating what the former Supreme Court judge is saying. But also there's a precedent here. So what's happening is, in my opinion, the police are applying the law that they don't understand. Now, or they've been given to believe by the government that they've got powers that they do not have. Now, there's a precedent here from earlier on in the coronavirus crisis, where between March the 23rd and March the 26th, the police were enforcing lockdown regulations that didn't exist yet. The Coronavirus Act was only passed on March the 26th, but the police had been given to believe by the government that they were enforcing law when they weren't. So that draws attention to another thing, that these rules and regulations are enforced by the consent, the imagination of the people. So if we imagine that we have to consent and we believe that we have to consent, it's a mass belief, it's a mass hypnosis by the government. So whether it's written in a law or a statute book or wherever it is, if we choose not to believe in something and all disregarded the authority of the government, then we could throw it out. But we can also throw it out, according to Jonathan Sumption, by using something that is actually legal and lawful. And I think that could be really powerful. I know people are applying common law, and I really hope that they're successful and they provide test cases and show the way for the rest of us. All power to their elbows and all their other joints in their body. But this could be a lot simpler if the police start to recognize that they don't have the power to lock you down without you being a named person and there being evidence of your infectiousness and danger to the public and an order from a magistrate. Okay, take care.